Canelo, for me, has to fight Benavidez. Before it's all said and done, before he hangs him up, he's got to fight Benavidez.
A lot of people were picking Bivol, and I'm like, I'm going Butterbeef. And he's like, how's he going to win? And I said, just because all of Eddie Hearn's guys are losing.
I think Shakur would give Gervonta the biggest fit. Because
Shakur don't even throw punches.
Let me explain myself.
All right.
Let me tell you why.
I like Shakur, but he don't throw punches. Well, I'm going to tell you what punch. I think he's going to knock Jake Paul out. I'm going to tell you what punch he's going to knock him out with. He's going to knock him out with a left hook. He was just yelling, and you guys can't see my face, but you see me standing there like this, looking
at him. I know.
And I was like, fuck you, mother.
Welcome to the Ring with the Parley with your hosts, Kendall Gill and Tilo, where they duke it out over the current events of the sweet science. Moderated by Mindy Bryant, with correspondent Alex Correa of the Squared Circle Report. Sponsored by 6040.
What up, y'all? Tilo here for the Parlay, alongside my guy who takes 3-month vacations from the show. I don't know why, but he does. Mr. Kendall Gill himself, a 15-year NBA veteran, of course.
Well,
former professional boxer.
Why you do me like that, man?
I don't know, man. I got to, bro. You know?
But listen, I don't take 3 months vacations. You know I'm busy.
2.5.
I've got kids. You don't have kids.
True. I mean, it's not like you do have a kid that's going, play D1 basketball in Northwestern, and
I got a golfer. You know how long that takes.
Golfer who's killing the game, looking like Tiger Woods. I get it.
And I got a wife that's selfish too, man.
Oh, well then, you know what?
You don't have any of these
never mind.
things,
The wife one cancels everything I just said.
Okay. You know her.
Let's start it back on.
Well, I'm just glad you're here, bro.
Thanks.
That makes sense? Okay, there you go.
I'm glad to be here.
The Parlay is sponsored by Glory Wash Pro. You need any professional concrete washing, roof cleaning, siding, all that stuff. Johnny takes good care of all of his clients. You got to check him out, Glory Wash Pro. The link is in the description box and his information. Check him out. He will take good care of you. I promise, because I've seen him do it. All right, man. Well, welcome in another edition of the Parlay, man. Another episode. We do have a special guest in studio. He's not really that special anymore, honestly. He's family, but he's going to be joining the episode today. Alex Correa from Square Circle Report. What's up, big dog?
How's it going, man?
I see the wild card shirt, man.
Alex making us jealous here. Wild card.
Shout out to Freddie Roach and Pedro, man, for looking out over there.
I definitely got to pay a visit very soon to that gym. That's one gym I definitely have wanted to go to since I was a child. So
yeah, they're very welcoming. So
yes,
all good.
Absolutely, man. Well, today we got so much to get into. Boxing is a little bit. We're heading into the end of the year, and it's typical that not a lot of things are happening, right? And fights are still trying to be made with promoters and so forth. So we're going to get into a couple things, some of the hot topics. One of the things that we're going to mention before we even start talking is we are going to be doing a watch party on November 15th in Skokie, Illinois. It's going to be dope. It's going to be held at the Village Roadhouse on 7070 Carpenter Road in Skokie, Illinois. The flyer is probably up right now as I'm talking, right, Alex? He's not here right now when I said that, but you guys gotta check us out. We'll have a watch party. We're gonna be showing the fight at the Roadhouse, and also we're gonna have merch. We're gonna have food. There's gonna be ring girls in attendance, guys. Ring girls will be there.
All right.
I was told
that's for you single guys.
Right. Yeah, that's why I said it not for you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, Alex and I just have to sit there and
talk about the
fights.
Talk
about the fights. That's what we'll be watching the fights the whole time. Eating chip and
focused.
Focus. That's
focus. Right. Very good. But we are gonna have a watch party there, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna start at 7:00. You'll stay tuned for more details. We'll be posting out throughout the 2 weeks until the fight happens, and it's gonna be dope to see Mike Tyson, Jake Paul on the big screens at the Roadhouse. So make sure you guys look out for that as well. Well, with that said, we have a new segment we're going to introduce later at the end of this episode. It's going to be story time with KG. So be prepared. KG has a story up his sleeve, and I can't wait to hear exactly.
Got a lot of them, actually.
Yeah. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. So stay tuned after that. But first, let's get into the first topic, man. I just kind of mentioned the fight that everyone's waiting for. It's going to be Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, or Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, because Jake Paul's the A side, right? And the conversations for the past month, KG, past months is this going to be a real fight? We talked about it a couple of times. They've set out the gloves are going to be huge. 2-minute rounds, right? It has been sanctioned and so forth. It's going to be on Netflix for the first time, a boxing event, so that's going to be awesome. And we have also awesome undercards coming up. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor is under this card too, so the event's going to be dope. But first, let's talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Tyson has been a little bit more. He's been posting more on social media, right? Showing his training. He looks like he's in decent shape for his age. He's still got some speed, some power. So I'm gonna ask you again, KG. Do you still believe Tyson's going to knock Jake Paul out?
I think he's going to hurt him. I think he's going to hurt him for real, because one thing that Mike Tyson talked about just recently is he was on somebody's podcast. I forget whose podcast. No, it was on Andre Ward's podcast. And Andre Ward asked him a few questions, and he said, listen, he said, how good is Jake Paul? That's what Andre Ward asked. He said, listen, Jake Paul is good for his level, but now you're talking about a whole different level. Okay, I'm one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Yes, I'm 57. I'll be 58 by the time fight time comes around. However, it's different levels to this. We hear Floyd Mayweather talk about it all the time, right? There's levels to this, okay? And I think that, Mike is going to walk straight to him. I saw Mike hit his sparring partner with a left hook, and the guy was a lot bigger than Jake Paul is going to be on fight night. And he dropped him, and I think that Mike Tyson is taking this fight seriously because, one, Alex, if you lose to this guy, I don't think it does anything to damage Mike Tyson's legacy because he's 57 years old, but he still don't want to lose to a YouTuber.
No, God, no.
Yeah, and two, it's Mike Tyson, man. When he steps in there, and we all saw the exhibition with Roy Jones about 4 or 5 years ago, which is when Jake Paul started this journey against Nate Robinson. We saw Mike look pretty good.
Yeah.
And Mike may have, I don't know whether he carried Roy or not, but it seemed like he kind of eased up a little bit. It's on record that Roy Jones said, Mike Tyson hit me the hardest I've ever been hit before. You know how many fights and sparring matches Roy Jones has been in? And he says, this man, so that being said, Mike Tyson still got his power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Jake Paul has never been hit by anybody like Mike Tyson. And he can say, oh, well, I felt that in sparring. He's never faced anything like Mike Tyson is going to be on that night.
Yeah, I love watching his training videos and all of that. You can just see the power. Like, he still has it. Mm-hmm. And going back to that Roy Jones fight, after that fight, he was gassed. Roy Jones was gassed, huffing and puffing for air, and Mike Tyson looked good.
Yeah,
he could have won a couple more rounds in there. So
no, he could have.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how Jake Paul, because he has the stamina issues, and we talked earlier, he put on so much muscle, he's going to need, more. The oxygen's going to be an issue for him, even though he's the younger fighter.
It is. So. And he's going to be running.
Yeah.
Who thinks that Jake Paul is going to stand right there in front of him?
He'll be using that tactic. He'll be running around the ring trying to hit and not get, trying to hit and not get hit and slip and slide. That's gonna be dangerous though, because I can picture Mike Tyson throwing that overhand right, and trying to get in and doing this typical peekaboo defense and rushing in.
Well, I'm going to tell you what punch I think he's going to knock Jake Paul out. I'm going to tell you what punch he's going to knock him out with. He's going to knock him out with a left hook. Here's the reason: if you go back and you watch the fight against Mike Perry, right?
Oh yeah.
Mike Perry, every time Jake Paul threw his jab, Mike Perry saw a weakness. Now, if Mike Perry saw it, Mike Tyson going to see it, right? So what Mike Perry did, he slipped to his left and he came up with the left hook, okay, and caught Jake time after time after time after time. It kind of affected Jake, but the only reason why he didn't get knocked out, Jake Paul didn't get knocked out, is because Mike Perry just was too little to do it. Now you're facing a real, true blue heavyweight. Yeah. Okay? And a guy that is a knockout artist. Wait until Mike hits him with that shot. Honestly, guys, this fight might be over in the first round.
It'll be crazy. I don't know. What do you go ahead.
Jake Paul really has nothing to lose,
He doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't have nothing to lose?
If he loses to Mike Tyson, it's Mike Tyson.
I beg to differ. I think he has a lot to lose. He has a lot of cachet to lose. Losing to an older man and then he will literally get discredited in the sport of boxing if he loses.
Well, he's already discredited. You know, a lot of fighters. I mean, even though, look, I give the guy respect because he's done this for 5 years. He has not cheated the sport. He's respected the sport. He has gotten better. But even with all that work, he still ain't that good.
I mean, yeah.
Tommy Fury beat him, though. We got to.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Tommy, a natural
right,
boxer
Alex,
did.
Right. When you finally face a boxer, you get beat.
Right.
Now you're facing Mike Tyson.
But you're facing a 58-year-old man, and you lose to him, regardless if it's Mike or not. I think that narrative is going to be heavy too. You can't lose to an old man like this, bro.
It's Mike Tyson, though, dude.
Old man strength, man. You know the saying.
Look, this is not Vitor Belfort versus Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield didn't have time to train. What did he take this fight on a week's notice, baby?
Yeah.
And Vitor Belfort took care of Evander Holyfield. Hurt my heart because Evander's one of my favorite fighters. But Mike has had time to prepare for Jake Paul.
But do you think that the boxing community that are day ones, purists, do they respect Jake Paul right now?
No.
They don't.
No.
Does the casual fan respect Jake Paul?
Yeah.
So now that we have that, there's more casual fans, obviously, I think, in boxing than there are purists, right? When Jake Paul loses to Mike, the casuals are going to be like, oh, we're done. That's where I'm coming from. I think that's why Jake can't lose this fight. Like, you got it. Now you have to win. You have to beat this. You have to win this. You got to win. That's how I feel.
Well, look, I think that Jake is going to get a lot of respect just for stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson. I think he's going to get a lot of respect for that. I mean, everybody would get respect for that because who wants to step in the ring with Mike Tyson? For $30 million, I'd probably do it. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody in this room would do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but the thing is, Jake is going to find out his skill level ain't on that level. That's a world champion. Jake has never been in there with a world champion. Maybe MMA fighter.
I mean, I guess you're right. You got to give Jake credit for thinking about this fight, period. And, I know he has the cachet to make an event like this, but like the actual event of you going into the square circle with Mike,
I honestly didn't think it was going to happen when they kept pushing it back, the injuries, and I'm like lost interest a little bit a couple months ago, but now we're getting close to it, and I'm like, all right, we're going to see.
Yeah, too much money for them to not have it.
Right.
Because I mean, what is it, in Dallas Cowboy Stadium?
Yeah, Jerry's World.
On Netflix for the first time. They're going to sell out Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
That's going to be wild, man.
It got a great undercard, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano underneath it. And, I think it's a great card. And look, everybody can say what they want about Jake Paul. I've said things about Jake Paul, but you can't knock the dude's hustle. Look where he started, look where he is now.
Yeah. He stuck to an inch and he's doing it.
Yeah. And he did get a lot of respect from the fighters in the sport also. Just like you said, he didn't disrespect the game.
They didn't disrespect it.
He's got legit trainers in his corner. He's going at it the right way and and putting on a great card. Also, Mario Barrios against Ramos is on that card.
Yeah, that's
also.
a great fight too. Yeah, that's a great fight too.
Well, speaking of that undercard, the one that's highlighted the most obviously is Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It's the rematch. We all know what happened. In their first fight in Madison Square Garden, the actual arena, right, where they I don't know if they sold out.
Oh yeah, they sold it out.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they sold it out. Yeah, they sold it out.
It was fight of the freaking decade, man. With what we saw, right? I tell you both all the time. Like after round 10, I literally almost shed a tear.
Yeah.
The intensity of the rounds, like it was just back and forth. But what happens? Do we think Katie? They're both coming off a loss, by the way, right? Mm-hmm. Katie's coming off.
Katie's coming off a loss.
Amanda's coming off of a win, but also some eye issues, right? She had to have surgery. What does it look like? Does Amanda finally win this one?
I think it's an even better fight because now both of them are a little bit older. Both of them now probably are not. How many? What was that? 3 years ago that fight was?
Yeah, it was 2020. It was 22,
yeah.
right? It was
2022. Okay, two years ago, and they've been through. Katie just coming off of a loss. Controversial, but skills have deteriorated a little bit. So have Amanda's a little bit because with age everything deteriorates. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to even be a better fight because they're both going to be right there.
Yeah.
Going at each other. I mean, this is like this fight to me is like Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, the series. This is what this will be like.
Yeah, I mean, they've been out of the ring for quite a minute, both of them, you know?
Yeah.
So, like you said, who knows what we're going to get, but I'm pumped for it. I think it's just going to be round 11 from where they left off.
Yep.
You know?
I agree.
It's man, the craziness about. I mean, it's great to see when fighters do this, like the Arturo Gattis and Mickey Wars of the world. But like the fact that they don't back down, like they're getting hit and they're throwing punches while they're getting hit, and they don't stop. That was just amazing to see. In the first fight, and they naturally fight like that too. Like in most of the fights, they just keep coming, right? They're just not. There's no stoppage, and there's no, they have boxing skill, but you see a lot of just gut wrenching. Like I'm gonna stick in this phone booth. And we're gonna fight. It's beautiful. I'm about to cry right now. I'm talking about it,
you got to remember too. This Amanda's been fighting 3-round fights.
Yeah,
so this is back to 2-minute rounds.
Yeah,
so. From the 3 minutes,
2 minutes to 3 minutes,
2 minutes, yes.
Yeah, so she might have a little bit of an advantage. Actually, I'm going to lean towards Serrano on this fight. I think Katie Taylor eked that one out in Madison Square Garden. Serrano will
you
get
can
this
argue
one.
that Serrano won too.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad either way.
Yeah, me neither.
Whichever way that fight went. Yeah. But I think this time Serrano will win it, and then they'll have a third fight.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see that fight, and I can't wait to do the watch party and talk to you. Hopefully, Alex, we don't know yet if you'll be there, but when you're there,
I'll be there, man.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Along with Fight Night Chicago, shout out to you, my boy Z, who was here in our last episode. Of course, he'll be joining us as well. The heavyweight division, guys, is a little bit, all over right now. You got Anthony Joshua getting knocked out. So disappointing, man. But him getting knocked out. Wilder losing his last fight. Andy Reeves is still nowhere to be found right now, right, in regards to his next fight. Yeah. You got Fury and Usyk doing a rematch. We have knocked out Anderson.
Bakule.
I can't make sure I don't say that wrong. He's in the mix now with that big knockout. In the Saudi event that happened. What does it look like after Usyk and Fury fight? Because we were so excited about the what was about to happen. Andy, Joshua, Fury. It was this culmination of amazing fights that we honestly haven't seen still, besides Fury and Wilder. So how do you guys feel? KG, I'll start with you.
That's why you have to fight the fights when it's time to fight them. Instead of, okay, no, I'm going to fight this guy and that, and, you have promoters directing your career and everything, then we don't get the fights that we wanted. We wanted to see Wilder versus Joshua. We wanted to see Joshua versus Fury. None of those came to fruition because of a lot of posturing and promoters saying, no, we're going to go this way or that way. Give the fans the fights. Okay, let's go back to the days when there were the four kings: Duran, Hearns, Hagler, and Leonard. Where everybody fights each other. I think that the heavyweight division wasted a crazy opportunity to have that happen, and then you let a guy from the cruiserweight division, Alexander Usyk, come up, and now he's the reigning heavyweight champion. And I think that he beats Fury again.
Yeah, I do too.
Because his style. I don't think Fury can beat his style.
I think the first fight, Fury took him lightly, just he thought the size was going to be enough for him.
He did.
And he didn't. It took him those few rounds that he took off, and then he almost beat him. But that when he caught him in the nose, when he broke Fury's nose, that changed the fight completely.
Totally changed it. Yeah.
So I'm not counting Fury out. Just that's my guy. I like Usyk too, but I'm going to go with Fury on the rematch. And it is a shame we never got the Joshua Wilder. We never got it looks like we're not going to get the Joshua Fury.
Nope.
Because all them guys look like they're on their way out. Yeah. Joshua said he's still here, but it just isn't the same. But,
Andy Reeves messed him up, man. And I was there in person for that fight. I was at the Garden, and he came in looking all just not right. And then after the fight, you can see that he was not the same. Like that whole his aura was
gone.
Right? Yeah. Gone. It's not the same. You know?
I don't think he brought it with him that day at Madison Square Garden, though. He just wasn't there, like you said.
And that was a fight to introduce him to American fans.
Yeah.
Too. But look, Andy Garcia, hey, look, you got to fight the fight, and he capitalized on it. But we'll see what happened. Now you have Bakule, who, in my opinion, possibly could be he's the boogeyman now. Nobody wants to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, the way that he took apart Jared Anderson.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, that was almost George Foreman like, right? You remember when George Foreman was running through the heavyweight division? Yeah. Ken Norton went through him. Joe Frazier went through him. Went through everybody. Yeah. You know, and I think that a lot of guys, they're going to stay away from him.
No, Jared came in, and Jared also came in there confident that day until the end of the fight where he just was like, I ain't, you know, I didn't have it, you know.
Yeah.
So
his promoter came out and said he didn't want that fight for him.
Yeah.
But the Saudis gave so much money, Jared wasn't going to turn it down. So
yeah. Look, and the thing is with Jared, he probably had it, but Cooley just probably took it away from him. So some fighters do that to you.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the way that George Foreman fought Joe Frazier, was never the same after that.
Yeah.
You know, Ken Norton, never the same after that. So, you know, you look at the fights, Manny Pacquiao, when he fought Marco Antonio Barrera, never the same. Antonio Margarito, never the same. And that's what I think Bakuli is now.
Yeah.
The boogeyman.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois, too. You know,
Daniel Dubois.
He wants to rematch with Usyk now.
Daniel Dubois, too. Yeah.
The whole low blow controversy.
But honestly, I believe that Dubois won that fight against Usyk with that body shot.
Yeah,
because that was a legit body shot. That was. I mean, it was right on the belt line.
I don't know. Everyone was split on the low blow body shot. It was a body shot. you know. So I would like. Hopefully, if Usyk wins, hopefully he gets to run it back. If Dubois, you know, he earned it now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that.
Well, we all know with the heavyweight division, when it is popping, boxing is lit, you know, because it is the heavyweight division. It is for the heavyweight championship or whatever, you know, whatever, WBC, WBA, whatever it is, it's for the heavyweight title. We're hoping that we get some action again. And unfortunately, you know, the big stars couldn't make the fights happen, and their promoters as well. Speaking of boogeyman, the former boogeyman of the welterweight division, Mr. Errol Spence Jr., another disappointing, you know, kind of story in regards to his career, but we know how he got beat down by Terrence Crawford at 147, that mega matchup. You know, there was rumors that they would do it again at 154. There's no news of Terrence making any fights anytime soon. He was in Puerto Rico this week dancing. I don't know if y'all seen that. You know, with my people.
BO convention.
I saw you, T-Bud, you know, doing a little... But no fights have been happening, and now, you know, we're still waiting on that Fundora and Errol Spence mandatory fight that WBC, if I'm not mistaken, for that belt. Errol Spence, man, should he take this fight, or should he continue to fight, or do one fight be gone? I just something just feels off to me with Errol.
It does feel off because he's no longer with Derek James. He's moved up to 154 pounds. Hasn't fought in almost 2 years now.
That fight was 2 years ago?
Almost. Almost.
No, it's been over a year. I know that.
It's been over. It's been.
Okay, like
it was in June.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. We're in November. Okay.
Yeah, we're in November.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
So that's almost 2 years you haven't been in the ring, and we don't know what his training's been like outside of this and things like that. Whether he's been in the gym, whether he's been training hard, but I would not fight a guy 6'6" when I'm moving up to a new weight division, and a guy who throws a lot of punches, fights inside. I would take a lighter touch, Alex. I don't know about you, but I would.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because then he's southpaw too.
Southpaw
Crawford fought him
too,
southpaw, so I don't know if that's going to be an issue. Like he's used to fighting righties or what, but I mean, if you're going to go out, might as well go out for a title fight and call it. You know what I mean? He don't have, like you guys said. He don't have that many fights left.
You think he retires after this fight?
If it depends how he looks. If he wins, I could see him one more fight, but you know, cash out another. He'll have a title now, and he can cash out against someone.
Go back with Terrence.
I don't know if that fight's on the table anymore. You know, so but who knows? Who knows? Like if you know, he might want that. Want to run it back with him or something. Maybe he was off that day. He didn't make no excuses.
Yeah, he did.
Said better
he's a
man
warrior,
won and all of that.
Warrior,
but maybe he wants to run it back and surprise us.
Yeah, look, I think a couple of things that Errol can improve on if he does fight Terrence a second time, if he should get past Fundora. He's got to get his head off the center line. because his head was there all day for Terrence's jab. And if you go back and look at that fight, Terrence's jab is the punch that really hurt Errol throughout the whole fight, knocking him off balance, knocking his, and it seemed like it knocked his equilibrium off a number of times. And what I believe Errol has to do is he got to stop staying in the pocket so long.
Well, he's a Philly shell type guy sometimes, right? I mean, this fight
every once in a while,
but I feel like he let that out the door after round 1 because Terrence after round 2 because Terrence opened up in round 2.
Yeah,
this was him the whole time after that.
Yeah,
so he was just like he knew what Terrence's speed was and power, and I feel like he had to okay, I got to open up now and protect myself. And
right, he just wouldn't slip and punch or specifically the jab, and Terrence stayed southpaw the whole fight. Yeah. Never turned orthodox. Yeah, Terrence is a bad boy, man.
Yeah, man, he was. Yeah,
look, they did their homework.
they did their homework, and my respect for Terrence went up crazy after he beat Errol.
You have to.
Yeah, his skill level is just and he's got a 74-inch reach. Yeah, much like Floyd Mayweather has a 73-inch reach, so they got long arms.
Well, his last fight, and again, I was impressed as well. But who's the guy he fought?
Emma Brigabov or something like that. I forget the guy's name.
Well, that last fight, he had to adjust heavy because the dude was matching him speed wise, footwork wise, and we saw Terrence on his heels a little bit. Won the fight, off points, but. The competition stepped up and Terrence had to adjust. So, and that aspect of it, he almost lost the fight in the last 3 rounds.
Well, he was winning the rounds. It just wasn't in Terrence fashion. We're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he got a lot of slack from people just because it wasn't.
The scorecard was semi close, right? I think they had. I
don't remember what it was. I mean, it was somewhat close, but I still had, like Alex just said, I still had Terrence winning most of the rounds.
For sure.
It was just that he didn't look like he did against everybody else.
Yeah, because he went in there with the 10 knockout streak or something like that. So everyone wanted to keep seeing. Everyone loves the knockout, so that's what they were expecting and wanting to see, and they didn't see that. So we'll see.
Well, that welterweight division, it was so prestigious back then, and Terrence and Errol definitely brought it. It was Sean Porter as well. Sean was in the
Porter
mix
as well, yeah.
And we miss him in the ring as well. He does a great job, announcing on different networks and so forth. But we'll see what happens with Fonduro and Errol if that fight is officially made, and go from there. Gervonta Davis and Rhodes got moved back into January. This was a fight that was supposed to happen a little bit earlier. I mentioned last week, I wrote a comment on the fight announcement on Instagram, and I just put, because I'm just a troll, I put, nobody want to see this fight. And oh my gosh,
I don't want to see it.
The backlash on it, you guys look at the thread. It is ridiculous. Like, don't watch it. It's just crazy stuff. But really, and no disrespect to Rhodes, because he's in there for a reason, right? He's got to the point. But what does Gervonta do after a fight like this? It's expected for him to win, right? But the names are there. We know who we're talking about here. We still got Loma there. You still got Devin Haney. You still got Ryan Garcia in a rematch. You still got what's the fourth?
Shakur.
What are we looking at here for Gervonta?
Gervonta's in a tough spot because Shakur's injured. Loma took a little time off. Who else did you name? He just beat Frank Martin, which he was
Frank Martin,
he just beat him. So he really don't have an option right now. And Garcia suspended. And Robert Garcia said they got offered the fight for Rayo Valenzuela, but they wanted it at 135, and they said, no way, it's 140 or we're not doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's another one. So if he wants to fight him, but at 140, and then he'll have a name and a champion. So he just won the belt from Pitbull.
I think when everybody gets healthy, Gervonta fights Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia again, Shakur Stevenson, and then he calls it a career. That's 4 fights he's gonna make. He could possibly make $80 million in those fights.
Speaking of Gervonta, I'm just looking up some
Teofimo
names.
Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo.
As soon as he said it popped up.
Teofimo Lopez. Those fights, real Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia again, and Teofimo Lopez. Those 5 fights, He's done.
I mean, Teofimo, yeah, that's one that I think should have happened,
that's
sooner
one
than later.
That could be on the table now. Like,
Oh, could be.
They're
It could be.
both. They're
Yeah.
both. They don't have fights set up. Like,
Right.
they can make that one. Him, Bob Arum, get in the room.
That would be a
and
great fight, man.
Sit down and make that fight happen.
That would be a great fight.
Let me ask you a devil's advocate question. Is Gervonta a pay-per-view star?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is he? Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
that's the wrong
Yeah, he's a
question.
pay-per-view
Let me
star.
re-ask that question. Does he do pay-per-view numbers
Absolutely.
by himself? Like this fight that's about to happen. Do you think the pay-per-views will be?
Yeah, everyone likes seeing them fight. Even the people that don't follow boxing, they refer to him as the guy with the tattoos, all the tattoos.
Yeah.
they're like he's a shit. His knockouts, mini Mike Tyson. Even if they don't know his name, the casuals, they want to see him.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely.
I think it does okay, but it doesn't do great numbers.
Right.
He's got
you're not Canelo status, right? Or
no, he's not Canelo
Yeah.
status right now. He needs a dance partner to be Canelo status.
okay, exactly.
But those names, those 5 names we just mentioned,
Oh,
that's
those
what
will
that's what gets him the numbers.
Yes.
And I think he beats all of them. I just think his combination of boxing IQ, speed, power, footwork. I think nobody has the whole package like him.
Out of those fighters you named, who do you think gives him the biggest fit?
Teofimo.
I think so too.
I think Teofimo gives him the biggest problem.
We don't agree on much, but we
We don't agree
hitting, man.
we don't agree on the Jordan LeBron debate, but we agree on this one. So yeah, because of Lomachenko has not Teofimo has power.
Right.
Teofimo is slick. Teofimo is athletic, and he can move as well. So it's sort of like a carbon copy. He's looking in the mirror. Now he's got to figure it out. But I think that Gervonta wins on the power edge.
But one more thing though.
Yeah.
Teofimo's training with Canelo now.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
and Canelo's a big Gervonta fan, so he knows a lot about Gervonta.
Yeah, he knows
he
a lot
watches
about
him
Gervonta,
carefully, so
Yeah.
that's a good wrinkle in the game. So we'll see, man. Hopefully that comes
we'll
sooner
see, man.
than we don't wait too long for that one.
There's too much agreeing happening right now. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I disagree completely. I think Shakur would give Gervonta the biggest fit because
Shakur don't
Stevenson-
even throw
Let
punches.
me explain myself.
All right.
Let me tell you why.
I like Shakur, but he don't throw punches.
He was gonna say Teofimo, but we both agree. So
Yeah, right. He just
Shakur.
I like the Teofimo fight, but I think Shakur. Listen, Gervonta Davis loses rounds. Yes or no?
He does.
Yes.
Purposely, of course, right?
Yeah.
He waits and he adjusts.
Like
right?
Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
And he does his thing. I think with a guy like Shakur, who does not throw a lot, I think he's going to be forced to open up a little bit. But I still think that Shakur is faster than Gervonta by a thread. I think he could dance around Gervonta, and I don't think he'll make the same mistake as Frank Martin, because Frank was just stuck in the corner. Like twice, he did it twice, and in my head I was like, "Get out of the corner! You're doing so well. Move!" And he stood there and he got hit. I don't think Shakur does that. I think Shakur's able to run 12 rounds around Gervonta.
Frank got tired though. He said it. He couldn't move anymore, and he had to stay and fight.
That constant pressure of Gervonta was.
So I don't see that one because he's smaller. Like he's 135. So
Yeah.
I know they're both 130, but Gervonta fights at 140, and I don't see Shakur moving up 140. So.
But you're entitled to your opinion, even if you're wrong.
Hey, listen, Shakur is one of the most skilled boxers I've ever seen in the ring, and I mean that from boxing skill. So that's why I give him the credit. I think he can do it. I think he can go 12 rounds and pick his spots and stay away from Gervonta and hold when he has to. I think he could do it.
I don't hear him calling Gervonta's name.
No, I mean he hurt right now.
Yeah, well, no, I've heard him call other people's name, but I haven't heard him call Gervonta's name.
Well, we'll see. He's he's still young. He's in his mid-20s. You know,
He is.
His chest will start getting bigger in a bit.
It will. He'll grow into the weight.
So
Yeah, but he's with Matchroom now too, so that might be another hurdle now.
Yeah,
It's
well,
going to be a harder fight to make.
oh man, thank you for the transition. Speaking of promoters, we know that Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, all these promoters, his Highness, what do we call him?
His Excellency.
His Excellency.
Excellency.
Thank you. His Excellency. Sorry, but the promoters are it's always an issue. It's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be numbers. Who's going to get what cuts, all that stuff. Oscar De La Hoya, Clapback Thursdays are absolutely hilarious. And I almost think that it's helping Golden Boy, these Clapback Thursdays, because now as a purist, I'm going to watch the fights, but I'm thinking from an outside perspective, if I'm watching Clapback Thursdays just to laugh, I'm also kind of interested now in kind of watching an event, or watching a fight that Oscar's throwing. So I wanted to ask you both, like, first of all, do you like Clapback Thursdays? Are you enjoying enjoying yourself?
I love Clapback Thursdays.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the way he's talking and all that.
And remember,
stuff,
I'm not a hater if it's facts or whatever he says.
That's right. So, as long as he's telling the truth, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Just tell the truth and make sure your stuff is correct and make sure it's backed up.
Well, one of the things, and I mentioned this question because Eddie Hearn's having a pretty bad he's having a pretty bad year.
Yeah.
When it comes to his fighters, his company, the whole versus with what's the Frank Warren. Warren, like, he's having a tough time right now. And on top of that, he has like Devin Haney in his court, right? Devin Haney's still with
he's a free agent, but he bounces back and forth.
Yeah, it's just not looking good for Eddie, and I think Oscar is like winning mentally this game, and in the ring.
No, I agree with you. It's not a good year for him, but listen, we all have ups and downs. Sometimes your team is winning, sometimes it's not. It's just Eddie Hearn's time this time. Eddie Hearn has had a long run of success. Okay,
true,
and now it's just time. That he goes through this episode. What Golden Boy may be doing well over the next couple of years. Then it's Eddie Hearn's time again. Yeah. It's cyclical, man.
And you got to know Bob Arum that will be there in the corner.
Bob Arum will be there and all that stuff.
And he just has Oscar to point it out for him.
Right, exactly. Which Oscar loves to do.
So I was telling my buddy, it's just funny because we were. I'm shocked no one mentioned it besides Oscar. It's with the Bivol Better Beef fight. So I'm like, he said Bivol, and everyone, a lot of people were picking Bivol, and I'm like, I'm going Better Beef, and he's like, how's he going to win? And I was like, just because all of Eddie Hearn's guys are losing. I was like, the fight's so hard to pick, it's like kind of a 50-50, but I'm like, I'm going to go with that and see if it keeps going, and I won, so.
Yeah, and speaking of that fight, did you guys feel that Bivol edged out a win, or are you okay with the Better Beef?
I'm okay with Better Beef winning that fight. It was really close, and just even how they looked after the fight. Better Beef, Bivol was pretty beat up, man, and his hand swollen and face not looking right. But he did all he could do, and it could have went either way, and I wouldn't have been upset. It could have been a draw. I wouldn't have been upset. So
no.
I was happy with the fight.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great fight. I think that Better Beef. I wasn't upset with the decision. I thought it could have gone either way or a draw. But what it makes good for is a rematch. And what Bivol said is that he needed to throw more punches. And especially in those championship rounds. Had he thrown more punches in the championship rounds, he probably would have edged it out. But I commend him for what he's done, because Better Beef is a freaking monster, knocks out everybody that he steps into the ring with. And, Bivol was giving it to him. And actually I thought Bivol hurt him a couple times. It's just that I think Bivol just got tired at the end of the fight and was not able to keep up the amount of punches that he threw throughout the whole fight. Because if you look at the fight, Bivol was moving the whole fight, man.
Yeah.
He was in great condition. But now I think he'll come back in better condition to be able to throw more punches in those championship rounds.
Yeah, and Better Beef is just a pressure. He's
pressure,
he's just consistently there like
Just
a
staying in your
Javante.
face, yeah.
So it's definitely difficult, but it was a great fight. Can't wait to see it again. It's gonna be another good fight.
Yep.
Without a doubt. We're gonna go to our last segment. With every episode, I gotta ask everybody here in the studio, who is your top 3 pound for pound? Because like Stephen A. Smith says on ESPN First Take, his list is fluid. So I want to know if your list is fluid as well. KG, give me your top 3 pound for pound right now.
Terrence Crawford, Alexander Usyk, and Inoue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in Usyk, Inoue, and Canelo.
Canelo. Okay.
Hold on, you don't have
Canelo
Terrence
made your
Crawford in
list?
it?
Yeah, he did just fight. That is right. He did just fight. I keep forgetting his last fight. No, I'm going to go. I'll stick with Canelo, man.
I love Canelo.
You could change out either. You could change him out. I'm gonna stick with Canelo, man. He's just for being the face of boxing, and I'm giving him. So I'll leave him on the top 3 for that.
He is the face, but Terrence Crawford hasn't lost.
Yeah, he has not.
No, we are talking pound for pound. This is the pound for pound conversation, not who's the face of boxing.
Yeah, but Canelo, he's like he came back. He's looking sharp. He's he got. I know no one was too impressed with the Berlanga fight, but he won every round. And then he Munguia, he dominated, knocked him down. And Munguia was undefeated and going through knocking people out too. So young, strong fighter. So you got to give him credit on that one.
Well, that's Alex's list.
Yeah.
Well,
we can't agree on everything.
Yeah, we can't tell him what to put on his list.
It's true. But Canelo ain't making my top 3 until he fights you know who. I need him to fight somebody that is. I'm listening.
Just say it. You got to fight Benavidez.
No, Benavidez. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want to disrespect any boxer. Anybody who gets into the ring, I respect 100%.
Right. But
Munguia and Berlanga are young guys.
Up and coming guys.
Growing into the division and they're becoming potential stars. I'm not that I don't respect those wins. You're supposed to win those fights, and again, total respect. But I need to see Canelo in there with somebody that matches him. He fought one of the brothers. He fought who else? Oh, what was the other guy last year?
Charlo.
One of the Charlo brothers, and then of the other.
You talking about Benavidez?
Oh, you know what? That was Benavidez who fought him.
Yeah,
Never mind. Scratch that. You're right. Okay.
You talking about Boo Boo Andrade?
Yeah, Andrade. Thank you. That was Benavidez though. But the point is that we haven't really seen Canelo get tested since Bivol, right? That's my point. And so I'd put him on there if I had that recent I guess judgment from it. But my top 3 would be Usyk, just because he's freaking what he's doing is still so killer, amazing, man.
Yeah,
like he's moving up from cruiserweight and. Yeah, he got hurt against Fury. Fury's huge, heavy. It's going to happen. Yeah. Still found a way to come back and stop him. Like, that's stupid crazy. So Usyk is my number 1. In a way, is just ridiculous. He's one of the best boxers I think I've ever seen in the ring. Like, the way he approaches the game. Yeah. Defensively, offensively. In a way, he's a beast. He's got 2. Yeah. And I put Terrence at 3. Terrence almost got off my list after that last performance, but he still remains at 3 as well for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with your list. I mean, it's the same as mine, so I got to. But I think that there is Canelo for me has to fight Benavidez before it's all said and done. Before he hangs him up, he's got to fight Benavidez. Yeah, and because that's the guy who's there, who everybody wants him to fight. So my question to you guys is, if Benavidez can't get the Canelo fight, how does he fare? Because he's at 175 right now. I believe. Right. How does he fare against Beterbiev? How does he fare against Bivol? They all
Canelo?
No.
Oh, Benavidez.
If he goes against Beterbiev. Well,
I got to see him one more fight at 175 because he didn't look too hot in that last one.
Nah, he did.
He looked a little sluggish.
Yeah,
he did. Looked a little sluggish. But those are the fights that he's going to have to fight if he wants to make some money.
Yeah. He's going to fight Morrell. That's a good
fight. And that's a tough fight.
That's a good fight.
That's a great fight.
Yeah.
So
Morrell's the bigger of the two also. Yes. So it's going to, and they both got some pop, and they both are coming off not so flashy wins, Right. So that's
true.
So I'm looking forward to that fight.
I think he can handle Bivol. I think he can go toe to toe with Bivol and handle his speed and pressure him like Beterbiev did.
Right.
I think he can do that. Beterbiev would be a different story. I think that he would have to match him and they would have to fight in the center of the ring and duke it out. And because Beterbiev is not backing down, I don't think he'll back down. So I think that would be more of a challenge than Bivol. But it'd be dope. Yeah, it'd be dope to see him in the ring.
Yeah,
it would be.
So
I don't think he's getting the Canelo fight. So I think he's going to have to just focus on that road there.
Yeah.
Because Canelo said it plain as he ain't fighting him. He don't care for the disrespect from his dad and all the smack talk. So whatever, man.
Yeah, whatever.
I want the fight. Hopefully we get it, but I don't see it.
I think in the end he'll fight him.
His last hurrah?
His last hurrah, yeah, he'll fight him.
Let me do my mandatory Spanish-speaking communication to Canelo.
Okay.
Canelo, por favor, te lo estamos pidiendo por la tercera vez, ¿ok? Habla con el papá, habla con tu compañía, por favor, hagan lo que tengan que hacer para hacer esta pelea, por favor, te lo pido de todo corazón, te lo estoy pidiendo, nosotros tres te lo estamos pidiendo, ¿ok? La comunidad de boxeo te lo está pidiendo también. Lo queremos. It ain't gonna happen, but whatever.
All right,
man. Well, our final segment of the show, we're going to be introducing it for the first time today. This segment is sponsored by 60/40 Club. If you don't know about 60/40, Kendall Gill can tell you all about it because apparently he's still going out there at 4 a.m. running and doing exercises and making me feel fat. So KG can talk about it a little bit more. But this segment is sponsored by 60/40 Club, and it is called Story Time with Kendall Gill. Of course, Kendall, former 15-year NBA veteran, has so many stories. So Kendall, bless us with your first segment on the Parley.
Yeah, well,
Story time.
You know, I used to spend a lot of time in the summers, and I used to hang out with MJ a lot. Okay. But
Michael Jordan, for those of you that
Michael
don't know
Jordan,
who
you guys that don't,
you got a lot of young fans that still don't know
Don't
this.
know it, but as I got older, I stopped kind of hanging out with him because now he became. I didn't look at him as Michael Jordan anymore. I looked at him more as a competitor, and that naturally happens when because MJ's 6 years older than me, and I looked up to MJ being here, being born and raised here in Chicago. When Michael came here in 1984, I was a junior in high school, so I went to the games. My dad took me to his first pro game here in Chicago against the Washington Bullets, and I just grew up throughout my whole college career even adding some of the things that Michael Jordan did in his game to mine. So, when I got to the NBA, I was still kind of like, had huge respect for MJ. But as I got older, like I said before, it became a competition thing. So one day, I believe that was in 1997, we're here. I play for the New Jersey Nets, and we're here in Chicago. We play the Chicago Bulls, of course. And
playoffs or regular?
No, not the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
It was regular season. But my home base is here in Chicago, but I live in New York. While I'm playing for the New Jersey Nets, so I leave some of my cars are back here in Chicago. Okay, so I pull out my car. I just bought it, Ferrari 456 GT. Okay, I pull it out and I'm like, I'm gonna go down to the United Center in my car, and everybody's gonna be like, "Damn, Kendall, what kind of car? This is a nice car and everything." And I had my girlfriend at the time with me, riding in the car with me. So, if you guys have never been to the United Center, you know how you go down into the ramp where all of the players park. So I drive down into the ramp and everything, and the guys take my car and everything. And my girl she's like, "Oh man, this is a nice car, Kendall. This is really nice." And I was like, "Thank you, babe." So we walk into the United Center after the guys take my car and park. We walk into the United Center. Whose effing car is in the United Center driveway? And MJ didn't park outside. Him and Scotty, they parked inside. Okay, so when we walk inside, MJ's just bought a brand new 550 Maranello Ferrari. My girl goes, "Hey, can you get one of those?" And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, I can't beat this motherfucker for shit. I was like, not only is his team crushing me, but I can't beat him on the car tip either. So guess what? The next week I went and got a Maranello. I traded my 456 in for a Maranello. So I was like, man, things. But look, everybody tried to beat MJ.
Yeah, man.
Nobody could. That's why that dude is the GOAT.
Yeah, man. He took everything personal. We found out.
He did. I don't know whether he knew I had a 456 GT, but I mean, it was right on time that he got that 550 Maranello upgraded on mine.
Man, and you mentioned that, but we're gonna end the show in a second. But after watching The Last Dance, like they edited the part where he was so aggressive and assertive and so like the whole look at me, catch the ball, whatever. Did you see that? Did you see that from him? Or playing against him like on the court, like So did you see it like in person?
No, look, I'm going to tell you guys. Look, MJ, when he's not gambling with you, complete gentleman, great guy. But when you're competing with him, he turns into something else. That's the thing. A lot of people don't know that he's great off the court, man. I mean, but when you're competing with him, it's just different. One time in Chicago, I remember. Again, I had the basketball like this, and I'm swinging my elbows like this, and he goes, "Hey, stop throwing your effing elbows." I was like, "You throwing your elbows at me?" And And then he goes, well, I can respect that. See, the thing is with MJ, if you back down to him, he ain't got no respect for you. But if you stand up to him, then he got respect for you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. It's competitive.
It doesn't stop him from competing against you, but he got respect for you.
Right.
Same thing with boxing. You know?
Yeah.
If you don't stand up to a guy in the ring, it doesn't matter whether you're in a fight or sparring. If you don't stand up to that guy and he thinks he can bully you around, he's just going to run right over you. And I think that's what you saw in The Last Dance.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Kobe. You know, you hear the stories about Kobe. If you let them guys run over you, then they, you know, and they just not gonna respect you.
Well, it's like in boxing too. Like we talk about all the time. They can have crazy press conferences. They hate each other. They literally maybe do sometimes. And then at the end of the 12th round or whatever, what do?
Yeah. So
Go fight.
Respect.
All you could do is respect the guy that's trying to kill you. You know.
And look, let me tell you, with MJ, I tell people like this all the time. Not only with MJ, but with the whole Chicago Bulls era during that time. Okay, they were rock stars. Okay, wherever they go, the stadium was filled. And as a matter of fact, you know, a lot of times, with the exception of me being with the Charlotte Hornets, they had more fans at our home arena than we did. You know, and they'd had more fans cheering for them. But the thing with them is that they caused a lot of players and opposing teams to suffer the Mike Tyson effect. You know what I call the Mike Tyson effect? You already beat before you even get there.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson had a lot of his opponents beat before he even got
His walkouts were stupid.
he had them beat before he even stepped in the ring.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you couldn't do against the Bulls. I mean, were they going to win? Probably. But the thing is, you couldn't have that Mike Tyson effect with you. Or else it was going to be a blowout. You know? Was a lot of blowouts because they were that great.
Yeah.
But, you know, the thing is, my main thing is that I want them to come and give me my due respect, even if I lost to them.
Sure.
You know, and that's what I earned from them.
One thing before we end, there's a clip that gets played often, and you know where I'm going to go with this. It's a 1997 first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You took a chance, and you know Michael stole the ball.
He stole, yeah.
The question I'm going to ask you is, you know, he got the and one, right? What did he say when he went?
Okay, so
what did he say?
So I'm gonna run through this whole thing with you.
And if
Here's
you haven't
another story.
seen it, everybody, y'all gotta go check it out.
So John Calipari draws up the play. We're in the playoffs, first round of playoffs, 19. I forget what year that was, but we're in the playoffs. It was MJ's in them last year, the year they taped the Last Dance. So
it was 98. I'm sorry, I said 97.
Okay.
98.
So
my apologies.
John Calipari draws up the play and says, "Hey, listen, Kerry, Kerry Kittles, you're gonna have the basketball." Mike, he knew MJ was gonna be swing it to Kendall because he's got Tony Kukoc on him, and we're gonna want Kendall to take him one-on-one, right? Because, you know, Kerry ain't gonna take MJ. MJ best defender in the league at that time, even though it was his last year. But me, Tony Kukoc can't guard me one-on-one. So the play was to swing it to me, and I take him one-on-one because we needed that basket. What did Kerry do? He tried to take MJ one-on-one. MJ jumped to the right side, steals the basketball. Game is on the line.
Yeah, it was late in the game.
It was late in the game.
Yeah.
Game was on. So I said, I got to go get it. I shouldn't have went and get it. I shouldn't have gone to try to get it, but that's not my nature.
Right. You did what you had to do.
I had to do what I had to do. And look, you can go back, and I know everybody who sees this clip, us talking about this story.
Alex, please play that B-roll while he's talking.
You can go back and see that MJ had 2 or 3 steps on me.
Yeah.
And I tried to run down there, and I was just too late, man.
Yeah.
I jumped too late. He was already in the air. And, you know, he dunked the basketball, and they called a foul and everything. But I don't consider I consider somebody when you get dunked on, you get bodied.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it was a good dunk, and he got the foul and everything, but he didn't
It's like Gobert got dunked on last night.
Oh yeah, Gobert got dunked on. He got bodied.
Last night.
Okay.
That was bad. I don't know if y'all saw that highlight yesterday. It was
so
pretty bad.
to answer your question, when he came down and he yelled like this. He was just yelling, and you guys can't see my face, but you see me standing there like this,
you're looking at him. I know.
And I was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! You just embarrassed me in front of my mom and dad and the stands, my brother. Even to this day, my brother will call me up and say, "Why did you jump?" This is almost 30 years ago, man. He'll still call me up, but that was, and people say, "Well, are you embarrassed about that play?" No, I wasn't embarrassed about it, man, because I went for it. You know what I'm saying? What if I had blocked it? You know, what if I had got there in time? You know, probably would have been a different story. We probably would have won that game. So I had to go for it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, too, I mean, it was between you and Kerry Kittle as the leader of that team. Like, you guys were the guys putting up the stats, putting up the numbers, and leading that team. So
so you have to go for it, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always curious what MJ said to you when he clapped.
He didn't say anything. He was just yelling like this, and then
What'd you say to Kittle?
Huh? I didn't say anything to him like this, man. I should have said it. But yeah, man, that was crazy stories, man. Crazy stories.
We're gonna do these every time our new segment story time.
I just told you guys 4 stories.
It's all good. It was the inaugural one, so you had a couple up your sleeve.
Put them in the can.
We appreciate it. The Parley is sponsored by Glory Wash Pro. Don't forget to check them out again. Their information is in the description box. We appreciate you guys watching the show. Also, my boy, Square Circle Report. How can they find you?
Yes. Oh, glad you brought that up. New YouTube channel. Square Circle Report Official. Put the link in the bio right at the bottom. So make sure you subscribe. I'm still got the old one, but let's move everybody to the new one.
Yep, there we go. Very nice. Check them out. We definitely look forward to your reports and your posts as you continue to do weekly. We appreciate that, man. You're a consistent man on social media, dog.
All right, sounds good,
sir,
man.
Alex.
And you better be at that watch party. We're gonna have to
I'll be at that
him,
watch party, so you guys will see me up there hanging out with these guys and everyone else, you know.
Absolutely.
Your guests you got going for the single guys, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea, okay? Wink. And also, don't forget November 15th, our watch party, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. We're going to be there in Skokie, Illinois. The information's in the description box as well. We appreciate it. And subscribe to everything we got. It's all there. Description box, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that. We're all over the place. Hit that notification bell when you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Guys, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Let's see how boxing does the rest of the year. Mr. Parley. What's up, guys? T-Lo here for the Parley. 15-year NBA veteran Kendall Gill there.
Sir.
Don't forget to subscribe to everything you see there in the description box. We want to hear from you guys. And, of course, hit that bell for the notifications. Like that, you know what's going on.
Hit it.
By the way, just want to make sure you know, Tyson Fury has never lost a fight to Deontay Wilder.
And this is untrue. He lost the first fight.
I don't even want to hear it, bro.
He lost the first fight.
I don't even want to hear it, bro.
He lost the first one.
He did it, bro.
He lost the first one.
He did it, bro.
You have yet to watch that fight with me. He lost the last two, but not the first.